All right, everybody, let's take a look at two different swings. They're about 28 days apart or so. This one on the left here was me just taking a swing right when we first started working with Calvin. And here it is in 240 frames per second on a Casio camera. So you see that was a pretty strong grip if you were looking. Just look at my general, just look at it, just see it for what it is. See what you saw there. So let's take a look at the swing from 28 days later. And what's interesting is we think we can see a lot just in everyday time, in regular time. But we really can't, because even these two swings here, you may not notice too much of a difference, but the key is taking a look at them at 240 frames per second and then being able to stop it and pause it at different points in the swing to see what the body and the club and what everything is doing. So here's setup on the left. Let's just compare them both here, side by side. Got a different glove on, but for me, I actually weakened my grip a little bit because of my club face. It was getting super shut at the top, super shut on the way down. So I've had to both condition some different movements in my forearms and also have a little bit of a slightly weaker grip. But this one on the right, for some would look really strong. But Kelvin Me here promotes a slightly strong grip. It helps to get the club face squared, and so you don't have to think about the release too much. And yeah, that's a separate topic. So I'm just going to talk about how I made these changes, where they are, and what Kelvin and I worked on. So there's my strong grip. I'm going to take it back, and the key spot to look at right here is the top of the backswing. This right leg, see from my knee to my foot is straight up and down, if not pointed a little bit back. That's not so good. It causes this pelvic tilt here. See how here I'm going to compare it to a better swing. I don't have lines right now. I'm not on V1, but look at the top of the backswing here. See how my right hip, or sorry, my left hip, this hip right here is higher. You could almost see like a I don't know, a downward pointing line if you were to draw a line here, like actually connecting my pelvis with the two sides of my pelvis. Here there's more of a tilt down this way to the right. Here there's maybe a tilt more down to the left. Truly there's only I think 3 degrees of tilt in the best ball strikers around. But let's just take a look at it superficially right now. And then my right leg is in a much more strong and stable position, and let's see, I've got more of a shoulder turn, and this actually feels like I'm taking it further back. This feels tighter, more strong, more elastic. I'm more using the fascia in my entire body to create some stored energy and elasticity that can fire without me even thinking about it. I used to think of the swing as a muscle-driven process, but there's certainly muscles are doing things, but your fascia is doing a lot more than maybe you think. And that's what I've come to realize working with Calvin. So two big differences here would be my pelvis, my leg, maybe more differences, my shoulder turn. You can see this club face is more open. It's a product of my better, slightly weaker grip from what I had over here. It's still slightly strong though. And how does that affect, I'm not hitting the ball yet, so how does that affect me hitting the ball? Let's take a look at the downswing. So here I'm going to start down by external rotation. I've got that squat, which is okay, but what happens when I load up like this with the left pelvic tilt is it makes it very difficult to start with just rotation. See that slide? I'm sliding more than I'm rotating, and if we look here, see how my hips aren't very level here at all. See how my left hip is very much higher than my right hip. This is called right pelvic tilt, And if you look at from the back, JB Holmes, pause him through impact. His hips are like a plate just in midair. It's amazing. They're so level, and that allows for a lot better rotation. And we all know JB Holmes can smash it with a short backswing, so it's very impressive. And then if we take a look at my other swing, it's a little better. That's definitely a move that I need to get down better is the pelvic movements. But let's just take a look. I've got a lot of work to do still. This is nowhere near a great swing yet. But if you see my left pelvis is high, and then it drops down a slight bit here. See that down movement? That's going to help get my pelvis out of the way, so I can rotate better. As you can see, it's a little bit better. Let's go to impact. I wish I would have been able to see my belt line here a little better, but hopefully you can just judge for yourself that there's better rotation. Yeah, oh yeah, I've got to move this over a little bit. Sorry for the delay. So on the right, hopefully you can see I'm in a more dynamic, better position. You know, I've got more rotation of my pelvis. My release is decent on both. I think this one on the left, I snapped it left. I rarely do that, but I was tired. I hit a bunch of balls that day. So yeah, those are the main differences. So to get these differences on the backswing was a struggle. It was hard. I had to feel different things. I had to use my pelvis in different ways, use my back in different ways. But you know, I used to think the golf swing was supposed to be easy and simple, and you didn't have to think about it. But you know, maybe if you're a freak athlete, you know, if you're just a star baseball player or hockey player, or you know, you're good with swinging something, you can get into better positions. But yeah, I just wasn't the case. So I had to do a lot of work and ingrain a lot of stuff and train my fascia, train my nervous system, train my muscles, however you want to look at it. And yeah, the swing on the right felt just so much more powerful and quick. And the one on the left actually was, yeah, it just caused a pull fade. The one on the right allowed me to hit strong draws. So those are the main differences. And you know, how did I get there? I worked with Kelvin, worked with slow motion camera, understood my body and what I needed to do to change. I worked really hard. And yeah, I had Kelvin there and Gabriel Ryder to tell me to dramatize things, exaggerate things until I could get into the positions. And yeah, and just thinking and toiling and grinding, and I learned a lot over that month. It was incredible. So if you have any questions, let me know. I could have gone into greater detail, but I wanted to just keep it simple and show some minor differences. If you'd like some help with your own swing, just feel free to chat me up. I'm here for you. We could work something out. Let me know what you'd like to accomplish and what your goals are. And that's all for now. I hope you had a good time watching this and learned something. Thanks for watching.